We thank you, Father, for the life of Sergey. For the time that we had with him, Lord, to smile and laugh and sing and just enjoy each other's presence. So we know, Father, that now you are enjoying his presence with you. We just thank you for allowing us to be together in Christ, in the Holy Spirit, through the Father. Son's name we pray. Amen. When I first met Sergey here at Broadway, I had the most difficult time understanding him with a strong Russian accent. Anybody else have that problem? But the more we worked together, the easier it became. Sergey was a joy. He was a man of few words, but when he finished saying what he wanted to say was always followed by that beautiful smile which you witnessed even on this screen this afternoon. Just before rehearsal, I asked Sergey what he did for a living. My first mistake. Now, it wasn't the accent that got in the way from understanding what he did. I had no idea at that time that he'd earned a PhD, let alone a PhD in physics and microbiology. And as he began telling me that he was a research scientist in the UK, studying the physics of DNA and RNA, I was just like a ball in high weeds. I was lost. In fact, in speaking with Elena this last Monday, I went through the very same scenario when I asked her what Sergey had been working on. They have worked together in research for years at UK. Elena had earned her PhD in biochemistry. And when she began explaining what research she and Sergey had been working on, there I was again, lost like a ball in high weeds. But also lost in the wonder and amazement at how the Lord had brought together two people who enjoyed, relished, shared, and reveled in the wonder of the body and mind created by God, speaking in a scientific language that 99.8% of us would never understand. They've been working on the Alzheimer's disease. In fact, they've been working on the coupling of PARP1, medicated chromatic structural changes, to transcriptional RNA polymerase II elongation and co-transcriptional splicing. How was that? An article written by Sergey in recent years in the Bioorganic and Medicinal Chemistry Letters was titled Tritium Labeled, and I'm going to skip all of the rest of that in parentheses, Benzene as a probe for beta amyloid fibers. We may not understand any of this, but we can certainly be grateful for people like Sergey and Elena who have worked so diligently their entire lives to help understand the cause and to research the cure for Alzheimer's so you and I can live a better life. Well, with Sergey and Elena, there was no problem between science, research, and belief in God. The more they studied the body and understood the complexities of that body, the more they realized that we could not possibly have come out of a Big Bang explosion and we were its final result. They knew, as most of us know, that we are created by the hand of God who is divine, and He is the Creator. Sergey loved this choir and sang with us for many years. And even with his tremendous schedule, which included about 11 hours of research a day, he tried his best to be on time for choir rehearsals on Wednesday evenings. Even in December of 2018, when Sergey's body was already compromised by the brain tumor and rounds of chemo treatments, he learned the music and performed with us in our Christmas at Broadway concerts. Why? Because he wanted to. He desired to. Listen to the opening song of our Christmas concert from last year. You'll find Sergey in the next to the top row, the first gentleman from the left. We are honored today, having been asked by Sergey and Elena to sing at the Celebration of Life service. In this choir, we are a family. We carry one another's burdens. We pray for one another. We seek the Lord's wisdom and understanding. We reach deep into our pocketbooks and billfolds to help alleviate financial strain. And we uphold one another in love. Sergey is already missed. But today, we are a bit jealous of him. He is singing with the angelic choir. He's face to face with Jesus. He's completely healed of the brain tumor. And he recently just thumped the top of his forehead as the Father just shared with him the cause and the cure for Alzheimer's and every disease known to man. Helena, would you come?
Oh, that's
It's literally been happening since I was born. Because our names are pretty much the same. So she's Elena, so everyone thinks we're the same person. Alright, well, first of all, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for coming today, for every act of kindness towards my mom and dad during the last year. It was a nightmare in many ways, and I can honestly say what helped me sleep at night was knowing that there were so many people here who love my mom and dad so much. And we're bringing them meals and support and comfort, and most importantly, prayers. It was painful to be so far away. I live in Louisville with my husband and our children, and not be able to help more. So it was truly a balm for my heart, and I'm sure the heart of my sisters too, who also live in different cities. And I'm sure my mom and dad's hearts as well, during this trying time, to know that we can be certain of your love and support. I can't think of anyone who deserves love more than my dad. He was one of the most selfless people that I'll ever know. He was always ready to help us, celebrate our accomplishments, teach us how to drive, take us to ballet and piano lessons, and all the really random, now that I think back, we were in a lot of extracurricular activities, and he was always driving us everywhere. He was always ready to help us move into new apartments and dorm rooms, and he was the one carrying all the heavy stuff until we all got husbands, so here's your dad. When I needed to drive 9 hours to Arlington, Virginia to interview at a potential graduate school, the one I actually went to, he volunteered to drive with me so I wouldn't have to go alone. And afterward, he told me that he'd be really angry with me if I didn't go to this grad school because of the backache that he had for 2 weeks afterwards. Whenever I needed something fancy printed, like wedding invitations or programs, he would volunteer to print them from his personal computer, which I later learned he switched to one at work because our personal computer just couldn't handle it. But I never had to ask Dad for anything. He was just always ready to help. As soon as I would just tell him about something I was doing, and he would just volunteer ideas. I could do this, I could do that. I never had to ask him for anything. Whenever I needed a hug when I was little, I knew he would hug me long and deep without breathing a word of criticism. He was a pillar of support for me, and I imagine my sisters and my mom as well. As a support being quietly and unboastingly holds up a ceiling, so my father held us all up with his love, support, and generosity. Even during the past year when he was diagnosed with brain cancer and underwent 4 rounds of chemo and a round of radiation, and even when he was so nauseous he couldn't eat or too weak to sit up in his bed, he would try to comfort us. He would try to comfort us, saying, "I love you. It will be okay." Even then, he was protecting us, helping us, and comforting us. He taught us how a man should treat a lady. He would bring us flowers every birthday, every International Women's Day, which I know most of the Americans in this room don't know what that is, and for every celebration. I loved this so much that I told my husband that it made me feel incredibly special to receive flowers for special occasions from my dad. And now, my wise husband brings me flowers on special occasions. And it's a double blessing, because not only does our relationship grow because of my father's example, but I get to look at some beautiful flowers on my dining room table that remind me of my sweet dad every day for 2 weeks after every special occasion. Because Jonathan springs for the good flowers, last a couple of weeks. Dad taught us that a real man cooks and vacuums and washes dishes and takes care of the dirty work around the house and acts like a true partner to his wife. Dad taught us that a loving husband kisses and flirts, no matter who's watching, holds and hugs, and has the humility to not try to win every fight. My dad understood that arguing many times doesn't lead to peace or happiness. There are many times we would argue, and he would end it saying, "All right, whatever you say," in a sweet, loving way, and then pull me into a hug. We learned a lot of stuff from him. My sister Vaina remembers these lessons he taught us. Above all, forgive. Stay loyal and close to your family. These lessons would come a time when she and I were bigger, you see, as sisters often do. And he would say something like, "She's your sister. You have to make it work and resolve it because you will have each other your whole life." He also taught us to keep learning our whole lives. Of course, my dad was not perfect. I remember the fights all of us daughters had with him when he was helping us with our homework because he would lose his patience with us. I guess it must have been frustrating sometimes for a physics and mathematical genius like my dad to be surrounded by mere mortals at times. And yet, he could also be incredibly patient. Some of my favorite memories from him when I was young was complaining the entire time when he would take me and my sister golfing because he would spend the entire time correcting my swing. Or playing ping pong with me for hours, and he would spend the entire time trying to teach me, you have to hit the ball to the other side before you start learning fancy hits. I'm sure that took him a lot of patience, because I would try all the fancy stuff. But he was genuinely having fun. My dad knew how to have fun, how to be silly, how to not take himself or most things in life too seriously. As a father and a husband, his love was truly exemplary. But as a grandfather, my dad was unparalleled. Almost all of the photos that I have of him at family gatherings during the past 7 years, he has a baby or a toddler in his lap. I guess our children figured out, just as I did when I was little, that he gave us love and hugs were the warmest and the safest and the cuddliest around. He was always willing to hold our children, watch our children, feed our children, dote on them, give them way too many sweets. My sister Dina is grateful to him particularly that he played with our kids and made them giggle. During the last year, my mom told me that my dad repeatedly told her how grateful he was for his children and grandchildren. And I am so glad we were able to bring him that kind of joy. I know that he knows now just how thankful we are that he was our father and our children's grandfather. He had a favorite Bible verse that my mom shared with me was his favorite from Ecclesiastes chapter 3, 1 to 12. I'm going to take bits and pieces of this. It's a long one, but there's a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to uproot. A time to tear down and a time to build. A time to weep and a time to laugh. A time to mourn and a time to dance. A time to be silent and a time to speak. What do workers gain from their toil? I have seen the burden God has laid upon the human race. He has made everything beautiful in its time. He has also set eternity in the human heart, yet no one can fathom what God has done from beginning to end. God has made parts of this life very beautiful, like having a dad like my dad. But he has also set eternity in our hearts. So we know that this life is not the end, and it's not all there is. And I am comforted to know that he is now walking with Jesus and Mary and all the saints in heaven. I am happy his worldly pain and sorrows have passed away. And I know that his smile and good humor are adding to the light of heaven. I am comforted to know that this is not the end, and that I will see him again. And I know that when I do, he will be ready with a warm hug and a beaming smile. I want to end by quoting and taking some creative license with an oldies song that we would always listen to on long trips in the car. We had this oldies CD that we would listen to over and over and over again and listen. The same song, like 12 songs that we just listened to again and again. This one is called Seasons in the Sun. I don't know if you guys remember that one. But it goes like this. And I've changed some of the words because it's about a young man dying. So, but about father dying. Goodbye, Papa. Goodbye, Papa, I want to say, you gave me love and helped me find my way. And every time that I was down, you would always come around and get my feet back on the ground. Goodbye, Papa, it's hard not to cry when all the birds are singing in the sky. Now that spring's in the air, with the flowers everywhere, I wish that we could both be there. We had joy, we had fun, we had seasons in the sun, but the hills that we climbed were just seasons out of time. We had joy, we had fun, we had seasons in the sun, but the wine and the songs, like the seasons, have all gone. We'll miss you, that. So good to see you all here. It's very hard to accept and to understand for me why everything happened the way it did. The last year was extremely tough. Out of 11 months, he was diagnosed with cancer. He spent more than 5 months in hospitals and rehabs. It was an emotional roller coaster to see him going up and down, having hope one day and then losing it. It was heartbreaking from the beginning. But at the same time, within the always hospital's beds, we still had very sweet time together and were able to do wonderful things. We took a little trip to Lake Michigan with kids and grandkids in July. And we went to Montenegro in August for a small family reunion to spend a wonderful week together with my sister, her husband, and son. We also made it to Paul McCartney concert here at Rap Arena in June. He wanted to see Paul McCartney so much. The Beatles were his favorite band. He was his generation to cherish them. He was very happy every minute of all these things we did all together. And I was giving praise to God for every day, every hour, every minute of the time we were together with Him. Once, while he was in the hospital, he said to me, "I didn't know how many angels exist in this world, and most of them work in our hospital." And it was sweet for him to say, and I agree with this statement. And now, when I look at all of you, I see it as well. I see the room full of angels. And I'm sure that is how he's seeing you right now. He was always supportive and protective. And even being deadly sick, he was trying to lift me up, lift up my spirit, keep me going. He did not want to leave me and all of us. He was fighting hard till the very end. And now, I want to thank everyone who knew him and was by our side until very, very last moment, and continue to stay with me today. There is a saying, "It takes a whole village to raise a child." I would say for myself, it takes the whole city to go through something like this. It would be absolutely impossible for both of us to go through all these things without your constant support, prayers, food, cards, visits, hugs, messages, little things you brought to him to brighten his last days. You gave me strength and support to get through. You gave me extremely strong lessons how to deal with all of it and how to support someone in a situation like that. I know I have that in me now, to be able to help somebody in a similar situation. Sergey loved life and lived it to the fullest. Even till the last moment, he was trying to encourage us and be able to see joy in little things. And that is how we will remember him, right? Thank you so much for everything you did for Sergey and for me, for being by our side through this sad journey. Thank you for creating the shield around us out of your love and care.
He loved you all. He loved you very, very much. And I lift up to God all of you in a great praise. I am extremely blessed to be surrounded by all of you. Thank you so much. Thank you for loving Him, and thank you for coming today to celebrate His life and cheerful spirit. Thank you.
Just let me say on behalf of the family, we thank you for coming out today, being here to remember and celebrate. Continue to do that. I want to close in prayer, and then our service will be over.